Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today let's go over the market. Let's talk about Tesla, what happened, what we can expect. And yeah, when we are in a wild market, ladies and gentlemen, this is, I'm not gonna lie, a bit of a confusing market, but let's try to dissect it. Let's try to figure out what we can expect. Keep in mind, so today we had the FOMC meetings, then we had the PPI numbers come out in the morning as well, and FOMC was at 2 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we have the CPI numbers coming out. Now that is essentially what the market's waiting for. The market, for the most part, being fairly flat, fairly tame. Nothing, nothing too wild for the past couple of days. I mean, I guess here was kind of wild, but yesterday and today, overall, not too crazy, fairly flat. Just waiting for tomorrow, right? And tomorrow's a big day, guys. Tomorrow is a huge day. Tomorrow is the day of CPI, which, man, who knows how that's gonna go? Seriously, with PPI coming in hotter than expected, it's not looking that good for CPI, but you never know. You never know. So let's just talk about the technical analysis over here on Tesla. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button if you find useful, helpful, whatever. Yeah, let's jump into it. Tesla ending the day up, surprisingly. Believe it or not, I know it's shocking. It's like the 10th candle. This is the first green candle out of the 10 candles. Look at this. Just look at this red. Unbelievable. End the day up 0.38%, putting us at $217.32. So what can we see on the daily? So first and foremost, the RSI, you can see, is starting to point up. It is, of course, severely, well, not severely, but it is quite oversold. I mean, you can even argue potentially severely oversold. It is, definitely, yeah, this is like, I would say this is severe and this is like quite oversold. But nonetheless, Tesla, on the RSI, you can see it's starting to point up, which is a good sign. And it's pointing up on a green day. Keep in mind, it is obviously relative to where it closed on the daily in this case, at least, right? So keep in mind that, it did close higher than yesterday. So it makes sense that the RSI is a little bit higher than yesterday. But, it at least is pointing up. It's a start. Let's just say that it's a start, right? Now, the good thing to note here is the fact that, so there's a couple things. First and foremost, we did close above yesterday's close today, which is a good sign. The fact that we were able to push above yesterday's close and close higher, that's a good start. That's a good start. That's, like step number one, essentially, right? The second thing is we pretty much held roughly this red line, you can see. So we didn't actually really fall below, too far below it, which is a good sign. And we're pretty much, again, closing above yesterday's close, which pretty much means that we are essentially right at, if not maybe slightly above the red line. Again, this red line isn't drawn to absolute pixel perfection, absolutely on the dot. It's just a rough guideline, but we are essentially still dancing around it. But, it's looking like there is still a little bit of hope, which is a good sign as well. Now, we have a long wick at the bottom, which is also a good sign on a green candle, which is also, really nice as well, that we are able to close again above yesterday's close and above today's open. So nice little long wick at the bottom, giving us, a sign of good buying pressure, and the sellers potentially running out, question mark. It's hard to say for sure still. The only thing that's unfortunate is that the wick at the top is still a bit longer than I would like to see. I personally would have loved to see as little of a wick at the top as possible, and that to me would have screamed bullish reversal. At the moment, it doesn't scream it to me, it kind of whispers it to me, if that makes sense, so it's like much harder to really truly say, yeah, time to bounce. I still think we will, at least for Tesla, maybe not the market. I think Tesla is still a move behind, because I think Tesla right now is playing out essentially this move right here, right? To me right now, Tesla is essentially like right around here where the market was, and then the market bounced and then it fell lower, while Tesla didn't have this bounce yet. And this market fell, like this obviously happened, this fall happened way before Tesla had its major fall happen, right? So Tesla to me is just kind of like a step behind right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla gets a rally from here potentially, maybe up until earnings or something like that. That wouldn't, completely shock me. Again, I want to see it break out of this kind of, yellow wedge, if you will, that we are kind of in, which you can kind of see a little bit better on this time frame, right? So essentially what I'd want to see for Tesla to break out of this wedge and, potentially give us a good idea that, maybe we'll actually get a bit of a rally here, a bit of green, is you pretty much are going to want to see it break above at this rate, either tomorrow or Friday. You want to see it break above, like between 222 to like 224 or 5, like somewhere in that range, between 222 225, somewhere in that range, I think is the range that if we can break above it, because now it's going to act as a resistance, because over here, so you can see where we're consolidating, this is going to act as a resistance now for us. This is kind of general area. So if we can break above that, which will also break out of this little wedge that we are, this downtrend channel rather, excuse me, not a wedge, it's a channel, then that would be a good sign as well. So we'll see if that were to happen, or if that is going to happen or not. At the moment, Tesla, it's just, man, the stock feels like it's trying so damn hard right now to reverse and just to give some sign of life, but there's just something just bashing it down in the dirt, man. It's ridiculous, right? But it's trying its best, so that's a good start. Taking a look at the Bollinger Band, you can see we have started bouncing off of the red line. We are no longer hugging it, which is a good sign. Again, personally, I wouldn't be surprised if we potentially come up to this white line. By the time we actually get to it, the white line will continue going down to meet us. So that'll happen probably somewhere around. Honestly, my guess right now, best case scenario, I personally think there's a decent chance Tesla might actually rally to like 245, which would be this yellow line that we did break under, right? So you can see this yellow line right here, this one up here. This was like this kind of area here, which we bounced off here, kind of bounced off here, bounced off here. We never really closed below this yellow line. And you can see before this, like the fall sort of continued, we did bounce off of this yellow line a few times, kind of closed below it. And then we came up above it, got rejected. This was essentially like, closed, retest, rejection, and then just a massive, massive red candle followed, right? Which just kind of played out this, bearish situation. So I wouldn't be surprised if we overall come up to get like an actual, true retest of it with the market potentially rallying. Who knows on CPI? I'm not really sure if it will, honestly, but it feels like Tesla wants to make a move, something like this, before probably making a move even lower, probably to around like the 180s, roughly, give or take, right? That would not surprise me whatsoever. So that's kind of what I'm personally seeing at the very moment. We'll see if it actually comes to fruition or not. Of course, it might not, but that's my current guess, right? But a better way to put that is, of course, the Fibonacci, right? Again, assuming today is the bottom, today's low, more specifically, is the bottom, from the swing high to the potential swing low, right? Again, just an assumption. You can see that the 0.382 kind of lines up pretty closely to where this yellow line is, right? So between the 0.382 and the 0.5 is essentially that, somewhere around this level is where I would expect a rally to come to. I'll be surprised if we go higher than 0.5 at this rate, mainly just because of the weakness we've been seeing, right? So I personally wouldn't be surprised if we get a pretty harsh rally up into earnings, and again, come up to between 240 to 250, anywhere in that range, with the median, of course, of the average being to 245, which pretty much lines up with this yellow line. Somewhere in that general range is my current, I guess, estimation as to where we might get a rally to. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. Now, the reason I said this is really difficult is because Tesla is still dancing on thin ice over here, even though this candle is, a pretty okay looking candle. It's still, kind of on thin ice, but what makes it more scary or unpredictable or, difficult, I guess, is the fact that CPI comes out tomorrow, which can influence the markets. And on top of that, the market itself is looking not good. Let's just say that not fantastic, right? QQQ looking at this, this just looks bad, right? This just doesn't look bullish whatsoever. SPY doesn't look bullish whatsoever, right? At least they, didn't go below this low yesterday, I guess, but we did close at the lowest level so far since forever, really. It feels like almost at this point, right? Ever since like way back over here, which was back in November of 2020, so essentially like 2 years ago. I'm pretty much back where we were 2 years ago, which is wild to think about. But, it is what it is, right? So that's something else to consider. So the market just does not look very, very bullish. Could be an absolute giga bear bait, and then we get a rally potentially maybe to this yellow line. Even if potentially as high as that, I'll be shocked, but it's possible. But it's just the market doesn't look very good, while Tesla looks like it's potentially trying to actually get a bit of a bounce. So there's like kind of conflicting, things happening there. The only thing I can kind of excuse it for, or, make up an excuse why that is because Tesla is just lagging in overall move behind. Again, like I said, when the market had its overall massive fall, this was when Tesla wasn't really falling just yet. When the market fell that hard, Tesla just really did this up here, right? And then Tesla finally did this massive move. While Tesla was just plummeting, the market actually did a bit of a rally. And then it fell, of course, which made Tesla fall even harder. But while the market was rallying in these candles over here, Tesla was just falling, right? So keep that in mind. So the Tesla doesn't always have to follow SPY, QQQ, or the market itself. Sometimes it does do its own thing, as we've seen before, and as I've said before, sometimes it lags the market, and I still believe it's currently lagging the market. It's following in the trails, in the footsteps of what the market has already done. Again, that's just a guess, not financial advice. Make your own research, or do your own research, make your own decisions. But that's essentially what I am seeing at the very moment. Ladies and gentlemen, taking a quick look at the 5 and the 10 moving average, you can see we are still well below those bad boys. So we definitely want to, find a way to push above that. You can see the 5-day moving average is now sitting at 223, which is essentially right in the middle of that range I talked about. That should be the contention that I really want to see it push above for us to potentially confirm a rally is on the horizon here for sure. So at the moment, it's hard to say for sure that the rally is here, ready to go, ready for blast off. It's hard to say for sure with a lot of confidence. But man, does it seem like the stock is just really trying its best right now to give us a little bit of a relief, which at this point, I think it's definitely due for a relief, at least a little bit, even if a little bit. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think about it down below. The VIX is, getting rejected at these same levels over here. So maybe we'll get a bit of a relief. Maybe the VIX will come down to 31 for this gap fill potentially. Some people say you can't do technical analysis on the VIX, I think you can, but it is what it is. But nonetheless, guys, let me know what you think down below. That's what I see. That's it for this video. Tomorrow should be a pretty interesting day to see what CPI brings for us. I did de-risk a little bit today. Personally, I bought back some of the sold puts I had from up here, so I did take a bit of an L on those. Still in profit on overall puts sold, but it definitely ate into my profits, that's for sure. But I didn't want to de-risk just in case, because I definitely think there's still a possibility we just fall lower. I just don't want to be fully I don't want to be too risky about it. I wanted to slightly de-risk, though I'm still fairly heavy, just less heavy. But nonetheless, let me know what you think down below, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.